Thank you for joining Hawaii Wellness Network, and we have authors from 2013 Messages of Peace from Hawaii book. We're very excited to have them on, Rasti and Kathyn Orford. So great. How did you hear about the book and be inspired to submit? We just talked about it was 250 words that we asked for, so that's sometimes a challenge for writers, because a lot of times when you write a book, it's like 10,000 words. So Ken, how did you hear about it?
Well, I'd like to thank you so much for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule to speak with us today. That's very kind of you. I appreciate you, Lori. I was about to write a book. I kept receiving this message from everyone. Hey, you should write a book. And then I got your email, your invitation. So I truly feel honored to be a part of this amazing book, 2013, Messages of Peace from Hawaii. And I know you and Worth and your team has put in quite a bit of work.
So this is good practice for you for your not the real book, but you get to be like baby steps.
Absolutely.
For the big journey coming up for your big book.
Absolutely. I think the universe was listening quite intently, and I feel a sense of gratitude. I have a genuine sense of love, empathy, and respect for all beings. And I feel a sense of oneness with all beings. There's a sense of gratitude inside of me for the discovery of that sense of oneness, because it has created more peace and less stress in my life. I truly feel that gratitude is the shift in attitude that creates a sense of acceptance and peace and love. And I feel that through this book, we can all come together and join energies and hands and share that with the world. Thank you.
Sure, and you actually get to work with an amazing publisher, Worth Grace,
Yes.
And learn a little tidbits of how we do the marketing, PR, and upload ebooks to Amazon, so that'll help you in the future.
Fantastic,
yes.
thank you.
And I believe she's going to teach another class, an ebook class. So
I
like
look
3 to 4
forward.
hours, yes, I've learned a lot.
Great.
Well, great. Kathyn, how did you hear about the book?
I heard about the book through a personal trainer's friend who was also a personal trainer, and she knew that I was here writing and doing my own books, and she said, I don't know whether it's too late, but I got an email recently about this book they're putting together, and I'll shoot you through the email. So I looked at it, and I think the closing date was maybe the day before, and I responded to Worth and said, this is what I would love to be involved, and that's how it came to be. She said, sure, send something through.
That's great. And how did you come to Hawaii? Because I hear an English accent.
That's Australian.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So,
and
it's close.
It's really interesting. When we did the conference call, it was everybody was connected some way to Hawaii, and we have quite a few people from Australia.
Yeah, it was really lovely
Yes.
to hear that. Yeah, I think the short version of why I'm here is Hawaii has been calling me here for years, and I answered the call. And this is the ideal environment for me, being semi-retired and really wanting to focus on my writing and producing products to empower people, to do it in a really beautiful, gentle place like Honolulu. Sydney, where we come from, is stunning. And if you said to me, choose a really busy city in the world to live, it would be Sydney, because it's beautiful. However, I'm ready for a gentler pace of life.
And we think in Honolulu, this is the big city.
And
the other islands.
But the gentleness and the aloha spirit is beautiful. And I loved the title. I really believe that peace begins with me. I used to have a t-shirt for many years that I wore, peace begins with me. And am I being peaceful to myself? Am I actually my best friend or my worst enemy? So the title resonated, and I wanted to really get to know other people in the community that on the same page.
And we
thinking
have
about the world.
our lunch party in March.
I know, I'm so
Excited.
looking forward to that.
Exciting.
To get to connect with
Yeah.
other writers.
Fantastic.
Well, great. And during most of the shows, I always ask, what is your perception of consciousness? Because that's kind of a big topic right now. So go and start with Ken.
Consciousness.
This is
Oh.
deep.
You know, I find that meditation is the key that could open the door to peace, serenity, and our inherent gifts, including consciousness. And the title of my article is Aloha, I Love You, We Are All Connected. And meditation has been a gift for me in that journey. I find myself more peaceful, more in touch, and accepting. So in that sense, it helps me to be more childlike. It helps me to laugh like a child. And it helps me to be aware of my breathing and to be present in the present moment. So in that sense, it opens the door for me for forgiveness and for more gratitude. And the cycle of peace continues.
Okay. Kathyn?
It's a wonderful question. Wow. I guess I can answer it from when I started my personal development journey. The levels of consciousness that I have, it's a bit like peeling back a never-ending onion skin. So I would think, okay, I've done a whole lot of personal development courses, and I went, oh, I am evolved.
I'm done.
And then, the
I'm
universe
there.
goes, well, we got something we're going to share with you to see how you cope with all of that. So I think it's a constantly evolving state of awareness of self, awareness of limiting beliefs and patterns that don't serve us and how to shed them, an awareness of the people around us and where they're at and how we can actually support them without judging them in becoming more consciously aware of their behaviors. And then, of course, as it spreads out, it's more, it starts with self, and then it goes out to the people around us, and then the community, and then the country, and then, the world. So being consciously aware at this stage in our lives as a planet that if we keep on doing what we're doing, we're not going to have, a sustainable planet. So it's about really being awake and aware for me, and constantly evolving. And being committed to a constant evolving way of being and way of interacting with people.
Okay, great. And I always like to ask, and we'll start with Ken, is there a book or a movie that you maybe have gone through some challenging times in the past that really inspired you or helped you that you would like to share?
Thank you for that question. I think it was beyond a book. I've had 7 near-death experiences.
Wow.
The very last one was so amazing. It was more real than all the other ones. I remember I was swimming in the ocean. My mother tells me I learned to swim before I learned to walk. And yet that evening, nothing was supposed to work. So I remember after going through a series of feelings of fear, anger, frustration, why me questions, I finally said a prayer. And the prayer was, Sweet Spirit, if this is it surely feels like it. I shall be leaving with a smile for all the blessings you have given me. And just in case, negotiation time.
We always have those, right?
Just in case this is not it, I shall continue to work for you. Just show me how. And I remember after that, I could no longer come up for air, and I saw myself going down. The sky was not clear anymore, and there was a white curtain that I saw in front of me, and that was it. Then somehow magically, I found myself on the shore. It was dark, the stars were out, and I was there. So I started touching the sand, going, I'm going to stay here. This feels good. And that experience changed my life completely. I kept praying and asking for what my calling could be. Being a university professor right now is my 9th career. And being a Sunday school teacher, all of this has resulted from that experience of having been given another chance. That led to reading books such as Love is Letting Go of Fear by Dr. Jerry Jampolsky, Forgiveness by the same author, and others.
Well,
Yes.
thank you. What
Thank
a
you.
journey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kathyn?
The one book, I'm a book junkie and of course have been a course junkie as well. The one book that really has had the most profound effect on my life is Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life.
Mm.
I had read her book, and then I kind of dipped my toes in the water, but I wasn't really committed to working on myself at the stage where I thought I had met the man of my dreams. And similar to you, the book was certainly like the safety net and the event that occurred in my life where I thought I'd met the man of my dreams. He turned out to be my biggest nightmare, which in hindsight was my biggest gift. However, at the time it didn't feel like it, and I didn't actually know I was adopted at the time, so I didn't understand how him dumping me and going off with this other woman within about 3 months, well, he was going out with her at the same time, but marrying her within 3 months of us splitting up, left me feeling worthless. And I couldn't understand where my self-esteem had gone, because it was as if the rug had been pulled out from underneath me. And I ran a really successful school of performing arts. I was confident, and yet this one person leaving me triggered abandonment issues that I didn't even know I had at the time, because I didn't know I was adopted. So I soldiered on for about 6 months, pretending everything was okay, putting the suit of armor on and being strong and all those things that we're taught to do. And eventually it got to the stage where I put music on, and for a dancer to put music on and feel numb was the most terrifying thing I've ever felt. And it was like, if I'm that numb inside that I can't express through music, then I don't want to live. And so I actually chose the day that I was going to actually commit suicide. As it turns out, I didn't. I'm here. And that was about really two beautiful students' mothers realizing that I was in a bad place. I remember telepathically sending this message to my mum and dad that afternoon as I visited them, and I closed the door and I was going, thank you so much for everything, please forgive me. And then I went and taught all of my favorite students that day. And as the last one was leaving, I just broke down and sobbed, and they heard me, and a couple of them came back, and I said, look, I'm going through a challenging time in my personal life. I'll be okay. And I just ushered them out the door. I got home somehow, and when I got back there, I decided I was going to take an overdose of some antidepressants that I had never ever taken. I'd only gone to the doctors to appease my mother, who was really upset because I wouldn't get out of bed. But I thought I was going to take this overdose. Well, of course, I couldn't even find the damn things, could I? Because I hadn't even put the script in, because I didn't believe in that sort of thing. I knew that that was a Band-Aid job, and I didn't want to do the Band-Aid job. I wanted to heal. So one of the students' mothers rang, and I let the phone ring out 3 times. And I'm on the floor in my bathroom in a fetal position on the cold tiles, sobbing and rocking myself and going, you can't even organize your own suicide properly. That's how hopeless you are. I mean, it sounds funny now, but at the time it wasn't. Phone rings, let it ring out. Phone rang again, let it ring out. The 3rd time it rang, something inside me said, get up and answer it. And I think it was out of concern that something might have happened to my family. I don't know what it was, but let's say the angels were looking after me, and I hopped up and I answered the phone. It was one of my students' parents, who I was very close to, and she said to me, are you okay? Brooke told me that you came home and told me that you were upset. And it was really interesting what came out of my mouth. I said, no, but I will be. And in that instant, she knew what I was talking about. And she said, I'm in the middle of cooking dinner. but I want you to promise me that you will not do anything. I'll be there in 20 minutes. And I went, okay. And I actually said okay and put the phone down, but I had no intention of keeping my promise. She said, promise me. I went, okay. I put the phone down. I went, okay, plan B. I'm going to have to drive my car off a cliff, and I hope I can get that right and I don't end up, a paraplegic or something. So I've got the keys. I'm hustling down my corridor. The doorbell rings. And I open it, and it's another beautiful student's mother with this huge bunch of flowers saying to me, we know you're going through a really hard time at the moment, and we want you to know how much we love you. And my first personal development courses I had done and I cut my teeth on were Robert Kiyosaki's, who's actually comes from here. He used to run a lot of courses in Australia, and he used to say that you get a tap on the shoulder in life, and if you don't listen to that tap, then it gets heavier. And if you don't listen to the first and the second one, by the third one, you're face down. All you've got is the tread marks of the Mack truck and the smell of diesel and going, what the happened? And it's either a health or a financial or some sort of a big wake-up call. And all this is going through my mind as she's giving me these flowers, and I went, okay, number one tap, Brooke's mum has rung. The second tap is they're telling me that they love me. And so I stood there, and in that moment that I chose life, I went, okay, so they love me, but maybe it's time for me to learn to love me from the inside out, instead of constantly searching all out here for acknowledgement from everyone in my world that I was okay. So then the real work began, and I vowed to learn all about self-esteem, self-confidence. What is it? How is it depleted? How can I take charge? And I immersed myself in Louise's work, and now that's the work that I do.
Right,
I've
and
passed
that's
that
what
on, and that's why I'm
inspired you.
known as the confidence coach. So that's yeah.
That's pretty amazing, and you wouldn't have guessed, before then that would be your career. So
No.
That inspired you to help others.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now you go back and thank him for doing that.
Absolutely. He was the gift.
Biggest blessing. That's great. Well, thanks for sharing. And Ken, would you like to share what you do, for a living, and you help people with businesses and?
Thank you for asking. I am a university professor. I teach skills for success, interpersonal effectiveness, project management, and business leadership. I also have a business management consulting company. I help individuals start their own business with a sense of aloha, and I help existing businesses to grow. I give back to the community in every chance I get through different organizations called the Forgiveness Project, as well as the Voyage of Aloha and Center for Attitudinal Healing. I'm a peer support group facilitator. So I would like to invite everyone to explore the Forgiveness Project, the Voyage of Aloha community, and the Center for Attitudinal Healing. They help to change lives for the better. They helped me a great deal. So that's what I'd like to share.
How does someone get in touch with you if they are maybe starting a small business or would like to volunteer or just connected with you and like to talk to you more?
Sure, I'm happy to provide my contact information. It's actually my first name and my last name, Ken Rasti, at yahoo.com. And I'll be happy to be of assistance from a place of aloha every chance I get.
And it's nice to do something for a living that is always positive. And
Yes.
I do the Hawaii Wellness Magazine, and I always make sure that even on the political side, when we're standing up for GMO, GMO labeling and non-fluoride in the water, that I do it in a positive light, so there's nothing ever negative. So you can make money and do a business, and helping people with small businesses, and not have to do something negative or hurt other people.
That's right.
To make money.
Exactly. And in that sense, if I may add, we have been part of an initiative called Aloha in Personal and Professional Life, because having lived over 20 years in corporate settings and having seen the negativity and the negative competition that takes place instead of cooperation and a sense of connectedness which exists in our DNA, we have come together to promote this. So I'd like to invite everyone who feels so moved to come and join hands with us to promote aloha in our professional life as well as personal life.
Absolutely. And if there's any upcoming events, you can always put it on our magazine website on the events link,
Thank you.
HawaiiWellnessMagazine.com,
Thank you
so
so
people
much.
can find it.
That's very kind of you.
Thank you. And Kathyn?
What was the question?
Yes, that happened before. It's like we were so into listening to this.
Yes.
My
that-
fault.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm totally there
So
listening to you.
You mentioned that in when we were talking before, confidence life coach, and I've actually not heard that term before. So do you want to explain a little bit about what
Okay.
that is and how you can help people?
Well, I work with people, primarily young people, along with athletes and performers. And because my background was in performing arts and prior to that was athletics, I understand that psyche, and I understand how we can often be our worst enemy in that negative self-talk that goes on. So I know it sounds really kind of yucky, but I use the analogy that what I do is a bit like a plumber when you call a plumber and there's a pipe that's blocked. So I will actually, together, we'll look and see what the blockages are around their limiting beliefs and self-esteem issues so that the water can flow freely. And it's just conditioning, and it's different things that we've taken on board that people don't realize it's not who they are. And so it's a bit like, also like a snake shedding their skin and realizing that how unique and special they are. So I work with them around that, and then I also love working with people that have very specific goals in mind, because I have a strategy that I go through that prepares them for, collapsing their negative anchors in NLP and then stacking positive ones and putting it to music and writing a script for exactly how they want something to unfold. And reading that first thing in the morning and then last thing at night, just so the unconscious can take that snapshot. There's also on my website, there's lots of free resources. There's a self-esteem evaluation form. There are inspirational videos. There is a video of me teaching people how to reprogram that negative self-talk and turn it into a cheer squad.
Wow.
And people go, a cheer squad? I go, yeah, believe me, I've done it. And if I've done it, then everyone else can do it. So that's the sort of thing that I love to do and share.
And how would someone get in touch with you?
They can look at the website, which is www.theconfidencecoach.net, and they can send me an email through there, or they can actually just shoot off an email to me, which is Kathyn@theconfidencecoach.net, and it's spelled Kathryn, the unusual one. So Kathryn @theconfidencecoach.net.
Well, thank you for sharing your amazing
Thank you.
250 words in the book, and everybody will just have to get the book to read your inspiring words. And
Thank
thank you for coming on, and we will see you next Friday.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, that was fun.
Thank you.